right arm and a completely other person who was pretending to be Arnold's left arm. And as memory serves, I think Arnold was actually one of the people. So we actually got his real hand on one of them. And so, once again, the frame is, it's what's outside the frame you're not processing, you're not able to process. You're only given what's inside that frame. So here he is cutting into his eyeball, and this is the puppet head. And here's one person's hand, and here's the other person's hand. And you can see that they map very well to each other in terms of how the shot was done. And you're led to believe that it's Arnold, or at least you're not quite sure how it's being done. And then here, he's just faking it. If you look very carefully, if I were to stop it on a frame, and this is just kind of looking behind the scenes, there's no blade in that X-Acto knife. We're not going to have Arnold screw around with an X-Acto knife up next to his eye. Safety was more important than us being seen, and there was no digital way to put the blade in back then. Now, you could have him poke himself in the face with a bladeless X-Acto knife and put the blade in later and even see it come out of his skin or whatever. That'd be very easy to do. In those days, I just took the chance that people wouldn't see it, and they don't see it because they see what they expect to see up to a certain point, unless you really play fast and loose. There's even one shot earlier in the sequence that's even more blatant, and it's this one. He literally is just raising an X-Acto knife that has no blade in it, but we want there to be a blade there. And I don't remember anybody raising a fuss about it at the time. Now, of course, with internet trolls, it'd be all over the place within 24 hours. Ah, those idiots. But at the time, there was a willing suspension of disbelief because effects were cruder back in that day. And as the farther you go back, the cruder they were, the willing suspension of disbelief was greater. Now, the willing suspension of disbelief is not as great. So you got to be even better, but the good news is the effects techniques are better and they're cheaper. So you meet the demand. It's a constant dance. But just full disclosure, there's no blade in the X-Acto knife, and it's right there in front of God and everybody, and people want to see that there's a blade there, and so they do. So once again, a very low-budget film that was trying very, very hard to punch above its weight. And when I see it today, it more or less holds up. There's a lot of little cringy moments, but I think it did manage to punch above its weight for its time period, and that's what you always want to aspire to, I think, as a filmmaker working at low budget. Try to look like more than what you had.